Good morning. Happy Tuesday morning. Let me switch over. All right. So back to our morning stream. We still have the same grid showing. And if we take a look at where we are, our last update, let's see where. In our last update, we just wrote down the sort of like the goal of what we're going to do this stream, because we didn't actually write any code last time. We just sort of figured out what we wanted to do, which was, in this case, make the logic happen in this sort of main library area. So to help us deal with the whiteness of GitHub, let's go over to dark mode with the VS Code. Okay, so if the logic for the turn is going to happen here, as in the bot will choose a location and the library will determine if the move is legal, and then use methods in the bot and grid to make the move. So if we go take a look at what methods we have in a bot. So in the bot, right now, if we take a look at our tests, we have a new bot, we're serializing a state, and then we're running the bot. But with run bot, there's not really a big like move thing going on here. It's just handing the bot the serialized data and then saying, okay, give me what you should do. And we were running into one problem where in the serialized, where is that? Serialized data, we're just serializing self, which is right here, the width of the game grid, the height of the game grid, the turn number, and the location, which is fine for right now. But later on, we're going to want to have other things about the game grid, other things about everything else. And so I'm thinking eventually we're going to want to move all of that out. Although we'll still potentially save some of these here. And we'll create a new structure that's going to be temporary. So we're going to update it every single turn, every single bot potentially, and then reserialize that. That way we could then send it to the bot and say, okay, now tell us what you want to do. And if we go take a look at, let's see, bot move. This, I don't think that bot move is being used at all. Right, because this is a method that's going to be on bot that we potentially could use, but we're not using it right now. And then, of course, we have the game grid, which right now we have for tests, create a new grid, placing the first bot on the grid, and here's our to-do here, finish creating the place bot and grid function. May need a cell piece structure. Okay, so we have this game grid place bot, and it's yelling at us because, well, unused result that must be used. So I think we can unwrap this, because it should just work in this test at least. And then assert equal to the game grid is over here, so we have place bot. And place bot, we take in mutable self, the bot index, which I don't think we're using right now. Bot location. Oh yeah, and then, okay, so the bot location is going to be the X and Y of where the bot is on the grid. And of course, return nothing because we're placing a bot or an error. So it's a result type. All right, so let piece equals piece bot index. So we're creating a new, I believe this is an enum, right? Yeah. If bot location, okay, so if the X position is greater than okay, so if it's the left of the right hand side, or it's to above the bottom. So as long as we're in the grid, And this is place bots. This is just literally putting the bot on the grid. Okay, so we're checking to see if we're allowed to place the bot on the grid. And I think the question was, do we want to do this here? Or did we want to do this over in, yeah, we probably wanted to decide, do we want to do this over in the main library where we're going to do all the logic here? Because this feels a little bit like the logic that we don't necessarily want the grid to have to care about. So if I was to do that, the bot makes a choice. And so now we should have the bot's location. So do we have the bot? Okay, so we're having the bot have a location point. This point is 3,3. It's just sort of like arbitrarily chosen here. But it doesn't need to have an actual like location of where it is. At least not here. I'm almost thinking that we're going to store, we need an index of the bot. So we need to store that. And then in the grid, we store the index along with any other meta information about the bot in the cell that it's in. And then we can not have the location here, which allows us to not, because we're not going to have one at the very beginning. Now, I also understand that this is like being reset because it's turn 0. Because yeah, turn number 0 is going to come in first. Or turn number 1. I'm not sure which. I can't remember which one we're starting with. Turn number 0, yeah. Game grid, game width. Okay, so I mean, in the end, we shouldn't really store these things with the bot right here. I guess location would be nice, but the game grid has that. And I don't want to store it twice, because then I'll have to keep them both up to date. And I should really just be able to ask the game grid for my position. I think that's the key. Of course, we found out that we can't put a, it would be very difficult to put a reference to the game grid inside the bot to make it hard to figure out, but library could, in the turn, where's all these? Here, in update, the library could get the location of the bot and then send that in when we do bot.update. All right, so let's sort of think about what I'm trying to do here. Also, oh no, I did unmute myself. Perfect. I was gonna be upset if I had just been talking into the void for 5 minutes or so. I guess longer than that, 8 minutes or so. Okay, so the update function is going to ask the bot where, what do you want to do? You don't have a location, you don't have anything like that. It's the first turn. So it needs, I guess right now, we don't really care about the grid having other bots on it because we're just trying to take the first, we're just trying to do place bot down. But I'm thinking that it should be the library that places the, oh, the library is going to place the bot. And there is going to have to be a little bit of logic in here just in case, but it can return the error and then the library handles that error. Okay, got it. Match grid.get, so the bot location. Now the bot location is a point. And so we're going to have the point as the sort of like the key in the dictionary. We're going to get a cell, and so then we're going to match on the cell, and if it's a bot index, so if it's a bot, then a bot exists in that location. Otherwise, if there's nothing, then we're going to insert at the bot location, we're going to give ownership and the piece, which is going to be a bot index. And then return OK. That seems like it's fine. So place first bot on the grid. We're going to create a mutable game grid. So a brand new game grid, which is a 2x2. Setting bot index to 0. Bot location is to 1, 1. So we're going to put it 1 over, 1 down. Get bot location. So bot location dot clone. So now we're going to create a copy of this bot location so that we can verify that it's correct later. Because we're going to do some ownership stuff. Bot piece. We're going to create our piece enum. All right, then we're going to, with the game grid, run the placeBot method, hand it the bot index, which is 0, and the bot location, giving ownership of it because it's going to go into the hash map. Then we're going to assert equal GameGrid.get a reference to the get bot location, which is this clone right here. What does get return? Returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. So we're going to get, oh, right, because we're asserting equal. So this is the first part. So we're going to assume that this is going to be a sum of a reference to the bot piece, which is bot index of 0. Okay, let's run this and see if it works. Okay, all the tests passed, and let's see, where is game grid new? Game grid, place first bot on grid. Okay, so that worked. So the entire hash map system is working. So now we can erase you. Good morning, Danny. Okay, so if we have that, then now we want to tell the bot on its first run to run. Yes, we got check marks. All right, so in our update function, we have our turn number. This is going to be 0 on the first turn. We serialize the state for the bot, which does have the location of the bot, but our current bot is not going to care for that. It's just going to check to see if it's turn number 0 and then just choose a random location. And we can see that over here. If turn number is 0, just choose a random location and then console log that. Also, good morning, Alka. All right. Then we get our new location from the run bot, so we figure out what the return value is. Because we're just console logging the new location and not any other data, that this is kind of fine. We're going to be refactoring this as it goes on. And then, of course, returning essentially nothing because we don't need to. All right, so we have... And this just sets the location equals new location. So what I'm thinking is in this main library, we run bot.update, and I should be able to debug. I wonder, can I run debug on a bot? Will that work? Bot doesn't implement standard format debug. Okay, I could do that. Standard format debug, derived debug, that's what we need. Okay, that should make that. Yep. Let's go ahead and run this and see where we go. Or Liechtenstein, good morning. Yes, as Alka says, this is Rust language. All right, so this is an infinite loop, so it is running forever, but we could see that bot position is always 5-5, which is not random. That's not necessarily what I wanted. It's always turn number 0, but okay, first things first, right? Let's figure out. So we have bot.update. Does this need to be mutable? I'm actually kind of surprised because update here, self.location equals new location, new location. Location needs to be a point. Self.location equals self.runBot, and do this. Okay, so runBot, result, so location is going to be a point. Assert a JSON from slice equals this. If we take a look at our random, it is 5-5. Oh, random location. It's always choosing 5-5. It's not actually choosing a random location. Okay. Yes. What is this game that I'm trying to make? I'm trying to make a battle royale but coding game. So you have to code right now in JavaScript, and it's incredibly basic because it's super early. But you'll be coding a bot that then gets put onto a game board with a whole bunch of other bots, and we'll see which ones survive. We'll also see if it ends up being fun or not. Did I end up making my chat overlay? No, I don't think so. At least I don't remember. Either I didn't or I forgot which overlay it was a while ago. As you see, I have my I guess, is that the chat overlay, like over there that you were seeing? In that case, yes. Then yeah, I did. Do I know Java? I know enough Java to get myself into trouble, and that's it. Also, I need to drink my morning tea before it gets cold. I don't program in Java. I think the most Java syntax I've used is actually with processing as opposed to Java itself. All right, so this is choosing location 5-5, and if we remember, the bot is set with 3-3 to begin with. So 5, that means it actually is being set and updated, and we can change. We can change this and make it an actual random location. I'm not going to do this right this second. So let's now see if in the library we can get it to actually show up. So we have the debug bot. We can look at that later. So if the turn is 0, the bot gets to choose its own starting position. So I'm almost feeling that we have the main state with a turn number. So if self dot turn number equals 0. Okay, so if its turn number is 0, then we want to place the bot. So this is now going to be self.GameGrid.placeBot, and it's going to be the bot index. So I think it's going to be bot dot. Do we have index here? Oh, we don't. Okay. So that's the next problem. Now indexes are begin with 0, I believe. Let's go ahead and when we create that, because we have our bots, which is a vector of bots. Here in new, mute bots, turn number. Okay, so then with the bot, we need to give it an index. Okay, let's just do this in reverse. So over here in a bot, we'll do test first. We'll do test driven. So new bot. We need to also hand it an index. So we'll hand it 0. And we'll say assert equal bot dot index is 0. Okay, that will obviously cause some problems because we can't actually do that. Orlichstein, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. It's missing emotes because you because I don't have the ability. Oh, it's not have. I am terrible at drawing and I don't know what to do, and very few people have ever subbed. So I think that's the reason why. Why is the gift subscription not working? I've never used it myself, and I have no idea if I need to do any settings for that. So oh, like on the chat. Oh, did it not pop up on a chat overlay? Yeah, I think only actual messages get popped up on that, because I don't think that in fact, I could bring up the WebSocket. Where was it? There it is. Sending message, nickname, Oka. Oh yeah, so it got all the other messages with like the hype stuff, but not the actual. Yeah, because it only sends like real chat messages. Emotes plain text show up. Yep, because those that text is obviously just plain text. They don't send the code over for what the what it should look like, and I need to do like a get request to get the actual images and then display those. If you send the right cap requirement, you'll get IRC tags. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't. I just did very, very basic ones. And I kind of want to rewrite this using just pure WebSockets in the front end, because that also works when connecting to Twitch chat instead of this entire sort of like Rust IRC client in the background and then handing that over to a WebSocket that sends up to a front end that then grabs that and then places on the screen. That seems a little bit over engineered. Gareth, good morning. The IRC tags will tell you the emote IDs and the indexes, but I still need the images somewhere. I guess there's like a pack where I can download them and then display them. That would be nice. I haven't touched this thing. I haven't touched that in a long time. All right. Oh, there's a single URL. Plug in the emote ID and you're good. Okay, never mind. Oh, I thought it was like an image file or like a sprite file that I could download and then like choose from there. But I guess it's simpler than that. All right. What was I doing? I got distracted. You're just learning Rust and came across the screen. Awesome. We are building a sort of like a game as a way for me to learn Rust. And we're 16 days in, and it's going to be sort of like a battle royale coding turn-based game. Yeah, I could imagine that that would be pretty big, wouldn't it? I keep on forgetting how many Twitch emotes there actually are now. We just code our own and then redo them all, but I don't think we want to do that either. All right, so in the new bot, we have bot index 0. This should fail when we run the test, even though we weren't getting a red in our yeah, here we go. Expected 2 parameters. So I'm kind of surprised that this isn't yelling at me. So in instruct bot, we need 2 parameters right here. So this is going to be a bot index, which is going to be a U16. We need to add that into here, which of course we can't until we have a index, which is a U16. I might as well just call this an index then. And we will put this in here. So we'll just straight up throw it from the input into the bot, into the structure. 1,936,482. That is a crazy number. All right, more errors. And this is, I believe, is from all of the other locations, like in the library, that's calling bot new. So library okay, so it ran. Oh, is this the last one it won? So bot rs. Okay, hold on. Let me do this one more time. Okay, so starting with library bot new. Are we going to get errors? Okay, finally we're getting new errors. Okay, so this is all the tests. So interesting, because now we're saying, we do have an index now. I think I need to comment you out to give you a chance to show errors elsewhere in the code. Here we go. Now we can get this all going. So we have char number 0 for bot name and bot files. So when we push the bot, appends an element to the back of a collection, panics the number of elements, overflows a U size. Do I get anything back? This doesn't have a public function push. It doesn't show that there's a return on here. Have I played with the IntelliJ Rust extension? I tried to a long time ago, but I keep on having trouble with C. Well, I guess it'd be, is CLion there? CLion is the actual application that you can download for free. I keep on running into trouble where I have trouble like seeing like code in that. And I think it's just the layout and the fact that everything looks very similar to each other, all the panes and the text. So I keep on giving up on it, but I could try it again. Yeah, you don't like IntelliJ, Danny. I think I'm on the same wavelength that you do. Yeah, I haven't tried debugging with that either. I know they custom wrote their own, so that is probably a nice thing. Okay, so we we're gonna push in the bot here. The problem, I guess if I get the length of bots, that will guarantee that I'm in the correct, the index. What my worry is, if I want to like grab it by the actual index within here, I could run into a problem where I'm not really like actually at the real index. So I'm guessing I should do something like this. Before I push it in, we'll do let index. I want this to be a U16, but we'll see if it's the wrong one. I think it might be. It's going to be a bots dot length. And what does that make index? You're not going to tell me. Oh, length is a U size. Can I then dot and into? Of course, it doesn't know what I'm planning on doing with this, so it's not going to work very well. What are you upset about? Match file name. Oh, you don't want me to... Oh, wait, I'm in a match. I need to do this inside of here. So maybe above here. So let index equals bots.length. Now we're going to run into the problem where it's a U size. So inside of here, we're going to put in the index. And now it's going to yell at me that it's the wrong type. Expected U16, found U size. So now can I do a dot into here? The trait bound U16 convert from U size is not satisfied because U size could be a lot bigger than a U16. So it's worried there might be an out of bounds there. So that's, I wonder how I'm going to have to calculate this myself. Oh, you maintain a JavaScript Twitch chat library. I think, which one do you use, Alka? I may have used it before in a previous project. TMI.js, I think, I want to say I actually did use that for a Ludum Dare game a couple of years ago. I made an entire Twitch bot, a Twitch game bot, but I don't think that's even working anymore. I don't think it's deployed. If it was, there would be some hidden things that you could do in chat that would reactivate it, but I don't actually remember what those commands are. Okay, yeah, so perfect. That's exactly what it was. The Twitch chat bot dungeon. That's all just a way to distract myself from this problem here. It's dead. Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised. I may have actually like deleted the VPC that I deployed it to. So I could initialize a new index here. So let index equals 0. Now this is feeling like it's going to be a really, really terrible idea, because I know that it should always like keep up with here. Like if I say after I bot push, I could now do that mutable index, and now I should be able to do index plus equals 1. And then I want to pass index in, and so it'll know that index is a U size, a U16. But I'm assuming that it's keeping up with bots push here. And I guess that makes me sad because this is a potential bug waiting to happen. And I kind of wonder if maybe some other data structure would be better. I mean, I could just, instead of doing an index, do just an ID. And then we'll have to search through the bots to find that ID. Or maybe use a hash map and put the ID as the key and the value as of the hash map as the actual bot itself. That probably would be the better idea to do. I guess for right now, let's try this because that's going to be a significant. It feels like it's going to be a significant undertaking to change that, and I don't want to do that right now. But I do definitely want to eventually not do this entire mess. All right, so doing that, what other problems we have? In bot now, we have errors. Okay, so new bot equals u, so we're going to have index of 0. You're not going to, you are going to care about this JSON, aren't you? Index of 0. I believe we're going to have a failed test for this serialized state. What else do we have? No other errors showing here. Let's run our tests. Right, okay, so failed the serialized state. That's because we want an index of 0 right here. So I'm going to add that in. Okay, so then we have this index of 0. And hopefully now we should have passing tests. Danny, thank you for the X's representing my failed tests. But now we're passing, so it's all good. All right, that should allow us to come back to here, down into our bot. Danny, you're a CI dashboard. You're a CI dashboard that essentially watches Twitch chat to see what the passing is. That sounds like a very efficient dashboard. Okay, so we have going to re-enable all of this thing. So we now have place the bot. We need the bot.index. We need a bot location. So now, do we have the bot location? We do, because it's going to be bot.location. And that should be it. Now we're going to have a result. What type of result is it? Just a standard. Just a standard result. Okay, so if I don't think I can do a question mark here because I think this is one of my results. Really heavy machine learning was needed to implement this. You watched hours of cargo test outputs and ran that in an adversarial network. That would be a hilarious CI to make. Is like instead of actually running the code and checking the exit conditions, you just look at the code and look for check marks or X's. It's a completely useless code in that way. We could match this because I'm going to match you. And the reason why we would want to match this is because we can be in place bot, we're going to get a grid error potentially back, or nothing at all. So we want to check to see if we get a grid error. Okay, so if we're going to get is it game, where are we getting that from? Use error, grid error. think I have to pull that in here too. Use, where is that coming from? Oh, public enum grid air is off of here. Do I have access to that off of public struct? Use, can I make this public and then grab grid air out of game grid? So can I say use create game grid game grid? Can I also say this as game grid air? Grid air. Enum grid air is private. Okay, so it's here. Oh, public enum grid air, maybe in mod here. Can I public this? Can I pub use? Oh, yes, I can. Okay, perfect. So then back to down here. If we have a grid air, so we have bot exists in location, I believe is the only one that we can get right now. Place bot. Yeah, so bot exists in location. Oh, and bot out of bounds. So we can do both. Okay, so if we'll do the first one first. Whatever. This came up first this time. Bot exists in location. So if it's bot exists in location, then we want also, what are you upset about? The field index of struct bot is private. Oh, you need to be public. All right. Okay, so bot exists in location. If this bot exists in location, we want to then turn around and just continue on to the next one and just basically not do anything for this bot. Eventually we want to just kill the bot and have some kind of feedback for it. I'm not really sure how my feedback is going to be because I haven't figured out how I would. Oh, I'm probably going to want to have some kind of text, like turn-based output of like what happened, so that way when we do the playback on a front end, it'll display all the numbers for that. I haven't really thought about that. Okay, so in this case, let's just do a print line. So we're going to do a print line of bot placed out. Oh, bot already exists. So bot already exists where placing on first turn. Okay. Expected enum standard result. Results found. Oh, this would be an error. Error, I think like this. Oh wait, not a module. What would it be? It would be, I want to check to see if it's an error of type grid error. I think it's like, I know it's, so it's something error. I don't think it's this, right? Oh, non-exhaustive pattern. Okay. But the problem here is, oh, am I going to have to do multiple matches? So match match off of this error to see what error it possibly is. I might have to do that. I might have to do match on error. Hold on, let me try. Open curly brace on this. This down here would be grid error. Oh, it's very unhappy with me now. Grid error with that. Then we're gonna close this one. Expected pattern. Okay, right, because it's not error. Okay, so can I just I forgot match with errors. We have to go take a look at that really quickly. Rustlang by example match error. Of course, error handling just pulls me into here. Okay, so that's boxing errors. Oh, right. It's going to be an okay and then a variable that takes that in. I think that's, and then error and then a variable that takes that in. I think that's what I need to do. So hold on. Let's just read this really quickly. We're going to have an okay. The okay, we're not taking anything in, so we're just doing something with this. We don't really care. But what we really do care is the error, and this is going to be the error in here. And now we're going to have to match on the error like that. I think that's what I have to do. If you want a better way to find out how to do your match, go to the docs for result and look at the enum. Ooh. Docs for result. So Rustlang result. So an error E. A simple function returning a result. Well, these are returning errors, okay. Match version, error E, error passing. Yeah, but I have multiple things that E can be. That enum at the top defines how your match should look like. This one. Or this one. Okay, then look at the enum for your error. The enum for my error, grid out of bounds, bot exists in location, and well, this is enum result, and I'm passing in where's this thing? Mod place bot a result, which is going to be an okay, or an error, which is a grid error. Those are the two arms it can be. It can, oh, right. Well, isn't going to be okay and grid error? Okay and error, but that's a grid error. Because when I check it, it can be an okay and an error, but this is a grid error. But then if I want to check what type of grid error it is, I have to do that too. I think that's what I'm finding. So I can do an error, but this is going to be a grid error type. Now, can I do the checking in here for like what specific grid error it is? I'm not actually completely sure because matchy grid error. Oh, okay, so I can skip the error part and go straight to grid error. So I can do grid error, bot exists in location, do my entire print line, bot already exists where you are trying to place it, and then we're going to have a grid error, out of bounds, out of bounds, print line, bot attempted to be placed on first turn out of bounds. And then we have the OK arm, which we don't really care about. And we're just going to say, okay, it got placed. Oh, wrap that. So it needs to be wrapped in air. Right, because it's not actually the air type. So I do need to wrap this in air. That's what I was thinking. That's the one. Hold down Alt instead of Control, and it was very unhappy with me. Okay, so this is going to be wrapped in parentheses and then air. And you expected expression. Oh, I think I can just do like nothing. Match bindings cannot shadow tuple variants. I guess, can I don't want to get nothing. I want to just say, okay, I don't really care what you are. Oh, right, I have to take, I don't really care about this. Bot location cannot move out of borrowed content. Okay, so our bot location here, where, oh, is our bot location borrowed? Can I reference this? Can I just pass a reference in? Probably not, because it expects a full point. Oh, but I don't want to get it, so I'm probably gonna have to clone this. Okay, so I want to actually clone this at this point and not move it out. All right, so this is going to place the bot or not. And we're going to get print lines right now, and we don't want to crash the game because we just want to kill the bot. So eventually, if this happens, we'll probably want to replace this with a function call, a method call to the bot to say you're dead now. But we're not doing that. We're just trying to place the bot on the actual grid. So now that we have that, we want to just check to see, did this work? All right, so self, turn number 0, we've placed the bot. Can we now, this is all good. We have an OK here. I'm kind of thinking that I want to print out the game grid. So let's debug print. Let's debug self.gamegrid. GameGrid doesn't implement. Let's do that here. GameGrid. Public step GameGrid. We're gonna do derive. Okay, that wasn't. Delete that. There. Hold on. Let's just start over. Derive. Debug. So you are good there. Back to here. Cannot move out of borrowed content. So this something interesting is that is debug trying to take ownership? I'll hand it a reference. Okay, it's happy with a reference. All right, let's see if now we get, when we run this, if we get the correct location in the game grid. And here we go. So grid point x5 y5. So perfect. It's the bot is actually in the grid now with that bot index of 0. So that's good too. Now in the draw, we want to place something in the game grid at that location. So draw grid. Okay, so we're gonna draw the grid. I love that I've just updated it. Where's draw? Okay, so draw grid just draws this in here. Do I want to draw the bot on the grid inside of this function too? Probably, right? So these are going through all the cells of the game grid. Maybe I actually just want to draw the bots. So I probably just want to draw bots on here. So this is going to be another function. Function draw bots. We're going to take a reference to self. I don't think this needs to be mutable. We're just going to read. We also need this context, which is going to be a mutable reference to context. And we can just do this entire game result, which returns nothing. All right, so with this draw bots, we can now also do a self dot draw bots ctx, and we'll forward up all the errors. Oh, how did I end up doing that? That's context, which is a type of mutable context. All right, so now you're upset because I'm not actually returning a result or anything else like that. So at this point, we need to loop through all of the game grid and then place those on the screen. So let's see what we're going to do next time, which is going to be loop through all bots on the grid and then draw something to represent said bots. Probably at the beginning we'll just fill in the square with something, and then later on we can have like some kind of sprite or image that actually looks like a bot. Of course, this is the back end side, so maybe we don't care about it as much as the front end, but we're not there yet. Okay, so this is gonna loop through all this. Do I have? No, I have no test for like this draw stuff because it's really hard to test things that have side effects like this. But that's why I'm putting all that stuff in the library. Okay, so we're loop through all the grids and all the bots in the grid, and then draw something to represent said bots. Okay, so I think that's a good stopping place for today because it's almost 7:30. That's my ending time for these morning streams because I've got to go get ready for work. I'm gonna push this code on up. Let's make sure there's nothing else we need to take care of. Obviously, there's an error in here, so that's maybe not the best to have workable. So I'm gonna put in a work in progress. And bots are getting added to the grid. Next will be to draw bots. And push that on up. Let's go get the location of this. All right. And I'll show this out in chat. All right, so if you want to follow along and sort of see the code that I'm working on, that's the location of where it is. I am currently only working on this on stream, although I haven't like actually promised myself that it will always be done only on stream. So if there are any updates, you can see them here on this page. Also, every time that I start a new stream working on this, I end up sort of going over what happened last time at the very beginning. It's going to take a while to get done, obviously, and I am currently only able to do these morning streams for the game on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'll be back on Thursday morning at, what was it? It's 7:30, no, 6:30 a.m. Mountain Time until 7:30 a.m. And I have other random streams throughout the week. Like, for example, I'm going to be trying to do another mentor stream with Dan. In case you saw that stream or saw the video that's on YouTube. Obviously, I'm also archiving these over to YouTube. With that, I don't think I have anything else. So thank you again, everybody, for stopping by and watching. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Next planned stream is Thursday morning at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And with that, have a great day.